One of the biggest mistakes that leaders make when trying to be empathetic is imagining themselves in someone else's shoes. We're told that empathy means caring more, listening more carefully or more actively, imagining ourselves in another person's situation. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with any of those things. They can be helpful, person centered intentions. But here's the problem. If I imagine myself in your circumstances, I'm inevitably bringing all my own stuff with me into that engagement. All of my own perspectives, my assumptions, my social context, my values, my cultural conditioning, my lived experiences, my trauma, and all of that stuff is going to be clouding my ability to see what's really going on with you. But anthropology asks a different kind of question. In our approach to leading with empathy, instead of asking ourselves, how would I feel if this was happening to me? We could ask ourselves instead, how is this actually being experienced by the people or person living it? That's a very different act of attention. Here's a couple of practices that I encourage leaders to adopt. They sound very simple, but actually they're quite challenging and they require a bit of practice and discipline. You can try this yourself in any situation. Before you ask, what does this behavior mean? Ask yourself instead, what am I actually observing here? See if you can just describe what you're observing without bringing any interpretation into it. At first, you might be quite surprised at how difficult this is because our brains are hardwired to interpret almost simultaneously with observing something. It's a survival mechanism that's served us really well for thousands of years. But see, is it possible for you to just describe what you're seeing without interpreting it? And this doesn't mean suppressing your instincts or ignoring any emotion that may be arising in the situation. You're going to give those time and space at a later stage in the process. For now, this just means creating a bit of space around the situation before your conditioning and its judgments jump in and cloud your understanding of the actual circumstances. You may find that without interpretation, you actually notice things that weren't immediately obvious before. You get a sharper view of the circumstances. Then a second reframing question can be this. Before you ask yourself, why are they behaving this way? Ask yourself, why am I interpreting this the way that I am? That question gets us looking at our own values and our own interpretations, the way that we're shaping in the moment our understanding of what it is that we're witnessing, our understanding of someone else's experience. To me, this approach feels like the beginning of a move towards true empathy. Empathy not just as an emotion or a feeling, but as a disciplined practice. Because I would say ultimately the quality of our leadership is inseparable from the quality of our attention.